What if somebody whispered to your ear and said, if you start this thing now, your life is going to be totally different by December? A lot of people think they can't start a handmade business because they don't have money. But the truth is, handmade businesses don't require that much to start. What stops people isn't the lack of money. It is simply the belief that they need everything figured out before they can start. This video is not about becoming an expert overnight, and I am not in any way encouraging poverty or minimalistic mindset. It is simply about removing excuses and fear, being able to start small, learn slowly, and proving to yourself that you're capable of doing it. So if you've been waiting to have money before starting a handmade business, then you should stick around. And hey, this is not some ChatGPT list that ChatGPT will tell you do this, do that. No. Some of these things I have actually done them myself. Some of these things I am already in the business myself, and I can definitely vouch for them. Hello my people, welcome back to the Diary of a Craft Enthusiast. If you're seeing my face for the first time, my name is Elvin, and the people here call me Skilled Elvin. I am really honored to have you. You guys are my real MVPs. So before we get into today's video, think of me as your big sister and tell me in the comments what's something you're currently interested in. Maybe you're trying to learn like a skill or any other thing you're trying to learn in this season of your life, and I might just talk about it in my next video. But for today, let me tell you 7 handmade skills you can start with less than $10. That is less than 10,000 francs if you're in Cameroon, less than 15,000 naira if you're from Nigeria, or whichever country you're watching from. Just convert into your currency. So the very first business I'm talking about is hand sewing. Notice how I said hand sewing and not just sewing generally. Now there are these Chinese hand sewing machines that are sold in my area. It's sold for about 2,000 francs. That's less than $4. You can buy this machine and start with the basics like scrunchies, headbands, hair clips, shirt ties, back pouches as well, that these bidders use for their inner back. Some bidders don't know how to. Like someone like me, I don't really sew well. So if you start those kind of things, bidders will definitely be interested in buying. That machine in particular sews is very good for straight line sewing. I've used it myself. Before I bought my big machine, there was a time I was using it to sew my lining. So those machines are really good for like straight line sewing. So these things that I've mentioned are things that you can actually sew with just a straight line. And then you can start from there. And these products that I've mentioned, these are like daily essentials that people need in their wardrobes, the ties and the scrunchies and stuff. Assuming you buy the machine for, let's just say, $4. If you have like old clothes in the house that are still good and no longer using, you can even use them, for to sew these things. Or you can go for fabrics. You can go for satin fabrics, which I will highly recommend. A meter of them is sold for about 1,500 francs. That's not up to $3. Or you can choose any other fabric of your choice. It must not be the satin. Any fabric you can afford at the time. And then you start from there. What's most important is that you start small. You can buy one fabric, you make different things, and then you sell. When you sell them, you use the money, you buy another fabric, you continue, just like that. What is most important is that you start and you stay consistent. So yeah, hand sewing is definitely something you can start with less than $10. The second thing on my list is paper crafts. This one is highly underrated. This is something I've done before. There are lots of paper craft tutorials available online. You can even do things like journals and mini books all by yourself just using paper crafts. All you have to do is search on YouTube and lots of tutorials are going to pop up on your screen. The one I really like is shredded paper crafts. When I started my business, if you don't know, I run a handmade business called Elvin Crafts. I do crocheting. So when I just started, I couldn't afford to buy shredded paper at the time. So I simply went on YouTube and I typed how to make shredded paper. And I did my shredded paper myself at the time. And nobody could tell. Everybody probably thought it was imported thing. Somebody even bought from me because at one point people were asking me where I buy my shredded paper from. I could not tell that I did it myself from here. So yeah, that is definitely something you can do. And in this season where Valentine's Day is all over the place, vendors are trying to do Valentine's Day packaging, they will definitely be looking for shredded paper. So this is something you can start now and make money off it. Trust me, it's a very good business. You just have to market it properly. Everything revolves around maybe being consistent and marketing your product properly. So yeah, paper crafts is definitely something you can start with less than $10. All you need is a scissors and pieces of paper. That's like basically all. The third thing on my list is crochet and knitting. Of course, I will talk about crochet because crochet does not really need much. A lot of people get it all wrong. You don't need the entire crochet kit to start. All you need is a yarn and a hook. Trust me. And then YouTube tutorials. I mean, if you're already here on YouTube, it means you can watch other YouTube tutorials, right? One hook, one yarn, and YouTube is enough to start your crochet journey. There are lots of crochet beginner friendly tutorials on YouTube. You can start from there. You learn slowly and you grow gradually. The first project won't be perfect, but that is the point. It doesn't have to be. Just keep learning and you will definitely be going along. The fourth business you can start with less than $10 is beading or simple jewelry making, as I like to call it. Because when I call it beading, some of you start thinking about beaded bags. You have no business doing beaded bags as a beginner. Start from the basics. You can do beaded jewelry, that is earrings, necklaces, bracelets, phone accessories, just these small things. Starting with these little things will teach you a lot. I'm telling you this because I recently started beaded bags myself, and I can tell you that it is no joke. I wish I had started with the basics. I just went straight into beaded bags. Right now, I'm currently shifting, like going back and forth. I'm trying to do beaded jewelry, and then I'm going into beaded bags. It's important that you start from the basics as a beginner, not just for money constraints. It teaches you focus. It gives you design sense. It teaches you how to, like the twine that you have to stretch a lot of times, and those kind of things. It teaches you to stay consistent. It teaches you to stay strong, because again, beaded bags are no joke. So it's important that you start with something that you know that you're going to be able to make fast, sell fast, and make it all over again. Then you buy new beads, you make them again, and you sell, and you just keep the business going, and then you grow gradually. Remember, the core of this whole thing is to grow gradually. You don't start with $10 and remain with $10. No, you start, and then maybe 1 month from now, 2 months from now, you're already at $50, or you just keep growing with the business. So start where you are at, and you keep growing with the business. Before I move on, I'd like to say one thing that I'm really grateful for in this season of my life, and that is that I'm able to shoot this video right now. I can't even tell you guys the hurdles that went behind the scenes before I'm finally able to create this content, but I like to just take a step back and be grateful for something while I'm shooting this video. And if you have watched till this moment and you have not subscribed now, it would really mean the world to me that you hit the subscribe button. That simple act alone goes a long way in keeping me motivated to show up here every day. So have you subscribed? I'm waiting. Thank you. And you can also go a step further by turning on the notifications bell so that you get updated whenever we post a new video. The fifth handmade business you can start with less than $10 is hair braiding. This one, a lot of people get it wrong. Many people think you must go to an expert to learn the skill, and I beg to differ. You can start small and then later on go to an expert to polish your skills, or for an upgrade. All you need is a mannequin hair that already has hair on it, a packet of mesh, and YouTube tutorials, and you are good to go. You can start from there, and then later on you practice on your friends and your family. You can offer to do it for free or even at a discount, just to encourage them, because the secret behind all of these things is to practice more so that you get better. The skill will definitely improve with repetition. So yeah, braiding is definitely something you can learn with less than $10. And the sixth thing you can start with less than $10 is aesthetic frames or wall decor. Aesthetics is a new trending word on social media. You can do Pinterest frames and the likes. All you need is, first of all, download Pinterest pictures or picture that you know that people are craving for at the moment. Go ahead and print it at a nearby cyber or documentation center. Now, depending on the quality of the print that you want, the prices are definitely going to vary. You print it and then you go ahead to buy the frame. Mind you, you must not buy 10 frames at once. You can buy a maximum of 2 or 3, depending on the size that you're going for and how much you have at the time. And then you begin to put the pictures, but make sure you print more than one picture. You have to print at least 3, 4, 5 maybe. And then you begin to slot in the pictures into the frames. When you slot, you take a picture, you post, you remove, you slot again, you take a picture, you post, and stuff like that. You begin to change. And then when you eventually sell one of the frames, you now take the money, you go and buy another frame. You come and you do the same process over and over. You can, after selling the first frame, you can now buy, from the money you make from it, of course, you can now buy maybe 2 frames. You do the same thing, and then you keep growing, you keep improving. You see the ones that people are buying more, and you print those ones more. That is just how you start. That is how you start, and then you set the ball rolling. And again, I'm saying this because this is something I've done myself. I have a few frames in my house that I'm the one who printed them. I simply downloaded the pictures from Pinterest, went ahead and printed them, and now they're hanging in my house. So this is definitely something I vouch for. People are buying those things really expensive, and I can assure you that if you start small, you can definitely go far with them. So yeah, aesthetic frames, wall decor, I totally vouch for. Now the seventh and the last business, which is not the least, is simple macrame. In case you don't know what this is, they call it soft macrame, or some people call it cotton macrame. This is just yarn that you can use to create. You've probably seen this hanging plants, in people's houses. Now that's what they use to make those hanging plants. There are different types of macrame. All you have to do is search. Maybe there are a lot of people doing China importation now. You can buy from these people that are doing China importation, and those things are really cheap. They're not as expensive. You can even buy the light ones and then you double so that they are thicker. You can either do the hanging plants, or they call it plant holders, I don't know. And do these ceiling hangings, like this lamp. There's a way, I'll just slot in the picture. I don't know how to describe it, but these are things that you can do with soft macrame. All you need to do is research, look for the macrame wherever it's sold around you. If you can't find it, you meet these people who are doing China importation. They will import the macrame for you. Those things are not expensive. The soft cotton macrame that I use for my bags is not, that one is sold for 3,000 francs. That's or $6 ish, or let's just say $6 to $7. You buy it for that price. All you need now is like a clip to hang it to the wall, and those things will not go like a hanger, something you cannot get for. Just do your research. Like I'm saying, it's not something I'm very versed with, but I know that it's something that you can start with less than $10. So you do your research. If this is something that you're interested in, I've seen people do, especially like the house decor. I actually plan to do one for myself for my house. You do like where you have your lighting, you just attach the wall hanging on it, and it really gives extra beauty to the house. They even do throw pillows as well, so you can use it to do your throw pillows and things like that. Just this aesthetics, like I said, is what people are going for now, the aesthetics and stuff like that. So you can use the soft macrame. That's the main thing that you need. You buy the soft macrame and you use it to produce different things, and that is just it. Again, you start small. You can produce just one for a start, depending on how much it costs. You post it, you get a buyer, you start talking to your friends and family, you get a buyer, then you buy more macrame yarn, you do again. Mind you, it is a soft macrame. Don't go and buy the twine macrame. It's a soft macrame that works for this one. So yeah, you buy it and then you keep interchanging and you set the ball rolling. That is definitely something you can start with less than $10, and I totally vouch for it. So yeah, those are the 7 handmade businesses that I think, or that I know. I actually know that you can start with less than $10 if you're really serious about starting a handmade business in 2026. Thank you for spending time with me. And before you go, let me know in the comments which handmade business you're going to be starting this 2026. Type it in the comments. And if you want me to expatiate, or if you want me to do more research for you, I'm at your service. So just type it in the comments. Let me know what you think about the video. And if you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up so that the YouTube algorithm can push it to more people. And please do not forget to subscribe. That is how you officially become a part of our community. I post new videos every Friday and I wouldn't want you to miss out on any of them. So make sure your notifications are turned on, and I will see you next week. Same place, same time. Stay blessed.